Hey, how we doing? How we doing? Welcome to the stream, everyone. Thank you very much for joining. We are back for a Big Friday stream. This is Friday. Is everyone feeling good? I hope you are. Make sure, get in the comments, and of course, make sure you drop a like and just retweeting something. And then we will get going. That and bang, right? Okay. Let's get the screen on and let's get going. Yeah. How's everyone doing? You all good? Great to see you all. It is a hot one today, isn't it? It's hot, no doubt. I'm going to be absolutely sweating as usual, as been the case for the past few weeks. Get the old foot massager on. Where's the funky alien music? I can bring that back if you want. I kind of just cycle through like the intro that Saver Crypto made, and then the normal countdown, and then Wii shopping cart music. I kind of just feel like, what do I put on today? And then put one of them on. Afternoon, Loki. Welcome back to the stream. Wiz, how we doing? I'm very good, mate. How are you? How are you, my good friend Wiz? Wiz, if you want to come on for a little interlude, if you want. If you want to come on for half an hour, whatever, there is always an open seat for you, mate. So let me know if you're busy. No worries, of course. But great to see you. But yeah, do make sure get your comments in, get your likes on, and we'll get cracking. But yeah, interesting price action from Bitcoin, isn't it? We came in pretty much close to where we were looking yesterday. In towards this region below, obviously these lows here. We did get a little bit of what did it go to? 104,600-ish. And as you can see, pretty much where it came down to was obviously where it was finding resistance all along here earlier in the month. You know, bang, bang, bang. And then there was a bit of choppiness, but yeah, as always, I'm trying to get rid of this. Line. Why is it not working? Hang on. Take my keyboard off and on. Yeah, the channels again doing the business, aren't they? Channels doing the business, that's for sure. I mean, look at just how well the channel played out. Each time we hit the bottom part of the inner channel, bounce. So hit it here, bounce, bounce, bounce. So the channel's really paying well for those of you utilizing the channel so far. Discipline, how we doing? I am waiting for that oscillator to turn pink on the 1 hour. It says SMFC, and then you're hitting it long. You're punting it long, and smack it to the upside. Yeah, let me know what we've got going on in your guys' life, in your trading. What have you been hitting? And yeah, it's good to be back. Big Friday stream, always fun. But yeah, I mean, I suppose actually SMFC, when you've got that article up, you could always hop on the stream if you want, and I could flick through it, and then we could have maybe some input from you if you're free. Don't want to put you on the spot, but if you want to jump on, obviously just as the voice, you know, on voice over. If you want to jump on, then you could look at it while we're running through, and then maybe we could get some questions in from the chat or anyone about the oscillator as we run through the article. Let me know if you've got the time or the opportunity, and you can most certainly come on. But yeah, Bitcoin dropped down yesterday. Where was we on stream? So we was on stream. Hang on, what day was it yesterday? Thursday. So it was here, wasn't we, on stream yet? We went off stream after this candle. So we went off stream after this candle, yeah, because obviously when we was watching it, it was just pretty much down only, wasn't it? And then we've got like a really funky looking 1 hour candle there. And then we just continued down. Now, the question is, is it going to continue further down? Now we do have, remember, the monthly close tomorrow, so it's end of the month tomorrow. Obviously today's the last trading day for TradFi before the monthly close, and then Monday will be the first trading day of the month for TradFi. Obviously we get the monthly open on Sunday. But yeah, I'm sweating already. Honestly, I'm absolutely sweltering already. But yeah, let me know in the chat what you'd like me to look at today. Let me know in the chat what you'd like me to look at, and we will do that. So I think probably what we should do for the start of the stream is, if we cycle through, obviously we're on Bitcoin at the moment. We did cover, didn't we? I think it was last week, the possibility of Bitcoin coming running. We've still not run that low yet. And we do have just a build-up of lows that we could run. So I think, yeah, eyes on these for sure. I mean, that area, you can see there, can't you? That looks like a potential area as well. So it could get very interesting very quickly. Obviously, if we come down to here, then we're just back within this trading range, aren't we? Ping, 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 ping. So I think that's something to definitely bear in mind, and maybe be prepared for if we do drop lower. Obviously, this is coming in as low time frame support from what was resistance earlier in the month. And then this would reopen this range with the possibility of trading down and liquidating these lows here. So I think that's probably a good outlook to have. Alternatively to the upside, I mean, where could we go? Well, there's the origin of the sell-off. We'll mark that on. And we do have a series of low time frame, lower highs. So running these would run definitely, the low time frame liquidity built up since yesterday. GM, hey Jeff, how we doing, mate? Great to see you, Jeff. Yeah, do make sure everyone drops a like on the video. I keep saying video because I've recorded a video earlier today. But we did. Oh, come on, 2 likes. That's shocking. That is shocking. Everyone, take a second, go and drop a like on the stream. Got 16 viewers and 2 likes. Come on, we can do better than that. We can definitely do better than that. Take a second, please do scroll down and drop a like. Now let me see. Wiz says 3 in 5. Mate, yeah, definitely. Let me send you the link, and then you can just join whenever you want. Let's see. Where are you? There you go. Jason says price dropping. Yeah, price has been dropping, mate. Price has been dropping pretty aggressively as well. I mean, that was a pretty aggressive sell-off. But this is what you get sometimes, isn't it? If we go and look at the daily chart, we haven't really yet had any correction, have we? I mean, I think this is starting to look definitely like corrective territory. We are down, we're only down 5.7% from the all-time high, which is tiny, isn't it? It's a small number. But if we was to correct down to, down towards here, that would be nearly 10%, maybe a 10% correction on like a liquidation wick, which then probably would put it in the realm of being, is there maybe correction over, and then put in a higher low, and then maybe grind on up is one option. Let me delete these. Delete. Yeah, there's a great Medium article coming out from SMFC soon. So he's going to let us know when that's live, and we'll take a look at that. That is all about utilizing the oscillator. That is got to be a bot, surely. People must have opened some longs on Bitcoin. Nobody outtrades like a certain exchange. Yeah. Yeah, definitely strong drop so far, but yeah, this will definitely put it into corrective territory down here. But I mean, like I mentioned, we've got monthly end, we've got the first of the month. So this weekend is very interesting. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want to get caught this weekend, that's for sure. Just make sure you have your wits about you, because this weekend we could see anything. We could see whipsaw up, we could see a whipsaw down, we could see a bit of games being played to go and source after liquidity after what has been a really good month of May. So let's go take a look at ETH. So, oh, that's a dirty sell-off, isn't it? So ETH, there you go. This is what we looked at yesterday. I mean, it dipped pretty hard through that level, didn't it? And then has lost it again by the looks of it now. Stonksy's gone to red, which is not good. But that was if we look at the daily chart, that was a horrendous daily candle on ETH, wasn't it? I mean, we've swung, failed the highs. So this is still resistance on the daily. Swung, failed the highs, and dropping down. So again, much like Bitcoin has got clear levels, I mean, ETH's got a clear route to the downside, hasn't it? Of coming retesting this zone, maybe even going after some liquidations. We've got that low to liquidate, that low to liquidate, these lows to liquidate potentially. So much like looking at Bitcoin, ETH has got some interesting regions to look at. But this is support, but yeah, we could liquidate lower and still hold it. Yeah, Stonksy's red on the 1 hour, which is a bit of an alarm. Delta, how we doing, mate? Great to see you. Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you? Thank you very much for joining the stream. So let's move over to Solana, shall we? Sweating. And here you go. Here is here's what we looked at yesterday. That came off pretty well, didn't it? So we've not actually gone after these lows here, just about. We got absorption at 160. We've not actually liquidated this low, but we did liquidate here. And yeah, I mean, Solana, again, if Bitcoin is going to do that little drop lower, then I think this, looks, we covered it yesterday, looks like a really good potential level, for Sol. Let's see what we got. Got a nice call on the 5 minute by Stonksy there. That is beautiful. Look at that. All the way down from 171. Sorry if you covered it already, but how is SFP doing? We'll have a look at that now, mate. Pam says, what do you think about your short? Okay. I think people are maybe getting a bit confused. I'm not TMG. Has TMG got a short on, maybe? Hello, mate. You all right? You on? You live and direct? Hang on. You need to unmute your mic, though. Your mic's still muted. But yeah, hello. Hello, mate. I think Pam's, you might be getting me confused with TMG. I don't know if TMG is short or not, but maybe if he is, that's where you may be getting confused. I'm not TMG. Sorry to let you down, but TMG is the owner of Stonksy. He does own Stonksy and founded Stonksy. So yeah, thank you for for joining anyway. Please do stay. If you've come from TMG's X feed or his Telegram group, where I put the link in, yeah, please do stay and subscribe. And that goes to everyone else. Make sure you drop a big like and please do subscribe. But yeah, mate, how are you doing?
I'm all right, thanks, Dave. Yeah, how are you?
I'm smashing. Great to see you. Great to catch up and great to have you on stream again.
Yeah, it's good to be back. And unfortunately, I think crypto is not in the greatest bit. Although hype looks pretty juicy.
Yeah, hype is kind of doing its own thing again, isn't it?
Yeah, you know how much I love that one.
Yeah, you love hype. I mean, the S&P. Did we have? No, I don't know. I mean, in futures, while we're building up to market open, we've just had a really nasty sell-off. Couple, what is it, about 10 minutes ago, 10-15 minutes ago, real nasty sell-off on the S&P there, which looks like it's trying to recover, but overall, we are down. We came into this region here, which has been key, which we've discussed on stream before this. If you look on the daily chart, you've got clear zone of SR here. So all this, clear outlined as SR. all coming in along here. And then when we drop down, we hit resistance for 1, 2, 3, 4 days, and then obviously continue to sell off. So that is, a real key area to watch, particularly around, obviously, what is slap bang in the middle is the $6,000 level. Obviously, a big juicy round number. So that, in my opinion, that's the area to reclaim, and obviously that is the area that has sent us down because it's rejected pretty hard off it here. So needs to reclaim this $6,000 area for sure, for more upside, which if it does, I think probably there's a very good chance we hit an all-time high pretty quickly after that. That doesn't really seem to be much stopping it after that point. But yeah, as it stands, it's down. But yeah, Wiz, mate, how what's going on? What's going on in the life of Wiz?
Yeah, busy. I've been a bit away from crypto recently. I've been more on the stock side, but the drop's interesting, isn't it? So the reason I imagine behind it is that our friend Mr. Donald has decided to speak.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So US President, according to Bloomberg, as of about 9 minutes ago,
yeah,
US President Donald Trump has accused China of violating an agreement with the US to ease tariffs, ratcheting up tensions. China, he tweeted or put on his social media platform, China, perhaps not surprisingly to some, has totally violated its agreement with us. So much for being Mr. Nice Guy. So it's all fun. And we've got some data coming soon, and the data that we have been getting through as of late has been not the best, shall we say? But what can you do? What can you do?
He's also been hitting off at Putin as well, hasn't he? And then, we hit off at Putin. I think it was yesterday, saying he's not happy with him. Obviously, I don't think the market really paid much attention to it, but it seems to be he's not getting his own way, is he? We've not had rate cuts like he's been basically demanding for since he got back into office. His big beautiful bill got rejected. Elon Musk started firing off at him kind of for the bill. So it seems to be like, he's getting it from all angles.
Yeah, I'm hoping. To be fair, I'm sitting quite pretty. So I mean, because I said to you, I've been buying up some VIX options. So over sort of the last week or so, I've been buying up some VIX options, and so they're starting to creep up. I was sitting on a little bit of a loss on those, but they're starting to creep up now. I just think it'll be very volatile. I think we're I saw a measure as well that it was sort of the level of deployment of US institutions into US stocks, and it's at highs, which probably indicates to me that there's not much more liquidity to go in. It feels like some of them are maxing out a little bit.
Yeah.
Which obviously probably explains why Bitcoin is now in. I would say that is a downtrend now on the hourly.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the biggest thing to know that not really anyone is talking about is the swing failure pattern on the weekly. We swung fail the all-time high, so obviously we did get above it on the for a daily close and stuff like that. But on the weekly, the week that we closed on Sunday, we put in a swing failure pattern of it, which is, you know, never great. I mean, if we look to the downside, pretty much when we put this initial low in here, as you can see, every time we interacted with it to the downside, we swung fail it. So swing fail, swing fail, swing fail. We never closed back below that wick, which then obviously eventually led to the uptrend. The price couldn't go any more down. There was no momentum to the downside. Seeing this, and again, you know, another week where we are, I think this previous all-time high is the key. I think now 109,588 ish is really the level that is, you know, is depicting. You can see all the price action around it. Yeah, we did get a little bit above it and then started using it as support, drop below resistance again, back above it, support, drop below. So that, for me, that's the real key level. Not so much even the all-time high. It's getting back above this previous all-time high. But yeah, it definitely looks like, I mean, we've not pulled back in seven. What has it been, like 7-8 weeks? We've not pulled back at all. I mean, you know, on the way up, what was this? So that was a peak there, and then we eventually pulled back to there 5%. Here we pulled back from here down to here, which is probably another couple of percent. We've not had like a big retrace, have we?
No, so, we've not, and I think we're starting to overcook a little bit. Certainly on the stock side as well, you're seeing some of the stuff start to pull back. I think crypto will follow suit, apart from potentially some select ones which may do quite well over the summer.
Oh yes, I'm sure you've got your eyes on them as well, haven't you?
I have. So there is and it's a bit of a high risk one, but there's a couple of big NATO summits over in June and into July. Whilst a lot of the defense stocks have already run quite hard, I think we may see some promises to spend and some additional orders that go in. You tend to get a lot of activity from governments going into those, so that they can go in and say, we're investing in XYZ and we've just bought this. So they tend to do quite well. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then and then looking at stuff on some pullbacks. I've got my eyes on, and I'm really trying to be quite disciplined and well behaved here. But I'm looking at CoreWeave on the hourly. I'm looking for another time to get in and play.
Where is that CoreWeave? Yeah.
So we're down to 106.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So it closed that gap.
Look at it. Yeah, it's isn't it?
Honestly, so the history of this is really interesting. Is that they were originally Ethereum miners, and then obviously when Ethereum had the merge and it went to its new model, they decided to pivot completely into AI. And this is a thesis I've been saying for a while about a lot of these miners. Is I think we will see a pivot into AI, because these guys are the best placed. Because the big prohibitors for data centers is that requiring a lot of power. It takes a long time to get plugged into grids, which is why it's difficult for new data centers to get built quickly, because you can wait a couple of years, etc., for to be plugged into a grid, whereas these guys have power either connected or they produce their own power in vast quantities, and it doesn't cost them much to move from crypto mining into AI. And you could essentially see a situation where they might do half AI, half Bitcoin mining, keep Bitcoin on the balance sheet, and then we'll see probably the rise of some mega players if they do decide to full on Michael Saylor it, because they'll have massive cash flow from the AI side of the business, and then obviously massive capital appreciation. That's what I was looking for on the Bitcoin side.
That's fascinating, the fact they used to mine Ethereum. I mean, it's probably been a lot more profitable for them to pivot into this, because I don't know what the market cap is now, but their shares for the team
it's basically 3x in a week, basically 3x in a few weeks.
An absolute ton.
I think they got spilled around a lot in on Trump's Middle Eastern tour. From what I've heard and what I've read, I think when Trump was doing his Middle Eastern tour, these guys were a name that was thrown about.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, we'll probably see a few more people follow it then. It's fascinating that they decided to pivot into AI instead of just going, well, we've got all this mining equipment, we'll just swap over to Bitcoin mining instead.
So as we were saying about Matthew Siegel, he wrote, I'll send you it over, I think it was last year, he wrote a really, really interesting paper that showcased the economic opportunity and modeled a lot of the mining companies moving over to AI and the opportunities and the additional revenue uplift that would generate. And some of the numbers are massive. Yeah, so don't be surprised to see more of this.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if it ripped up like that.
Yeah, look at the state of it. Nick, how are we doing? Loki says the market was going to rebalance. News just accelerated it. Yeah, as always. SMFC says perhaps selling may go away. I mean, potentially, depending on what you're holding, some things are at a really good price to take profits, aren't they? You would imagine. Got Nick saying buy in red, selling green. That's it. And we've had PCE fell to 2.1% below expectations. And I don't think the market's really had any reaction on that. It was a red folder event. We did get a little bit of... So we've had a push back up on the 5-minute on Bitcoin on that news. So creating a very funky looking 1 hour candle, similar to the one that we got yesterday. But I think, yes, for something like that, I mean, you look at that core weave chart and you are just like, wow. You could literally just 3x, 4x even, depending on where you bought. You bought it pretty much 4x your money in a couple of weeks, which is bonkers. I mean, I was looking at yesterday on stream, I was looking at the Metaplanet chart, which is just unbelievable compared to some others. So obviously GME just absolutely tanked, didn't it? From the moment, that they said they bought Bitcoin, has just sold off completely. So it doesn't look like GameStop investors really like that. I mean, from the top of that candle, from where it opened on Wednesday, it's down 17%. But then you look at Metaplanet, and that thing it's just, have you seen it? Like, even
it's nuts, isn't it?
I mean, it was up. Yeah. I mean, it was up massively anyway, wasn't it? From here, when they first announced they bought Bitcoin last April, when we got this gap up here, which, it did like a 2x overnight. And then you're thinking, you look at the chart like that and you think, wow, look at that. What a rally on the chart there, while they've been accumulating Bitcoin. And then you just zoom out for the month of May and it just went, obviously with Bitcoin rallying and creating new highs. But I think what's fascinating about the Metaplanet chart is you go to the weekly and it's still kind of barely moved compared to its highs. I mean,
crazy, isn't it?
Look at it. it's still barely moved. I mean, even up to here is like another 4x from where it is at the moment, back in 2013. So yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, yeah, anyone that went and bought Metaplanet as soon as they announced they were buying Bitcoin is in a crazy profit, like a 30x. So that is good. But yeah, Bitcoin mining, any stock related to Bitcoin is always interesting. I mean, MicroStrategy's been selling off quite a bit on it. It had an upwards day yesterday.
Yeah.
Just slowly coming into this zone, which I think could play a significant part. And then we've obviously got clear resistance to the upside. But apart from obviously stock plays, what have you been paying attention to over in crypto? Anything much?
Obviously my favorite cow. I've been rinse and repeating that one. Because it just moves so cleanly. Like, we know the levels, they slightly increased. So I had buy orders at 38 cents, ran it up to near 50, sold, and now I'm looking to get back in probably around sort of the 40 cents mark. If we go lower, I'll buy more. Low leverage, and just rinse and repeat, and it's a lot of fun. So I've looked at that. What else have I been looking at from a crypto perspective? Not a whole lot, really. I saw OM's absolutely fallen off a cliff again.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of bad news, that, isn't it? Like, it's just like, I don't know. I think for where the market has gone in May, and don't get me wrong, it's not as if altcoins have done amazingly, but it's literally made no effort at a recovery at all, has it?
No.
It's made no effort at a recovery whatsoever. SMFC says, so sell in May and buy Metaplanet. I don't know. I definitely wouldn't be buying it there. I don't even know where you buy it. I don't know what platform you could even buy that on. With it being a Japanese stock, I don't know. But yeah, what was it? Oh yeah, OM. Let's go and have a look at OM. I haven't seen Reggie Man in the chat for a while. I hope he's.
I hope he's all right.
I hope he's not been liquidated. Where is it?
That's brutal. There it is, down 10.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, do you know what's crazy though? Is it's still having these just really strange impulse moves, isn't it? Like, nothing happens for ages, and then just bang, and then we had it again. Just nothing happens really, and then bang. But obviously, it's getting it to the downside now.
I think we're still in the. I think we're still in the old sort of how it was in terms of it's been low float, a lot locked up, and they're trying to get people to FOMO into the charts, and I don't think people are buying it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, they need, the fact it's made new lows now. They need basically to pump it on back by themselves, don't they? Is what they need to do. They need to pump it by themselves. But it looks, I mean, it's re-entering. This is obviously where it consolidated previously. It's on like the border of re-entering there, which could see it go down to 21 cents. I don't know. The thing is, I never write something off because you just never know in crypto. We see things do just madness. So I would never write something off completely. But I would say if the team had any sort of plan, I really don't know what they're doing at the moment because the chart looks horrendous. Whether they're still letting people just sell and they're really going for that time-based capitulation.
Yeah.
I mean, on Stonksy, we've had a real nice 1 hour there, bang, to the downside. I mean, if we flick through, see what's anything of note, obviously we've got hype just ripping up. Again, 6.5% up today.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. Anything? Got a couple around. ENA 7%, 6%. But it is mostly red, isn't it? Everything's mostly red. So yeah, I'm eager to kind of see what happens with the monthly end. You know, we've got month end tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully a better month. Solana's looking really dicey. I don't know if you've looked at that, but that's literally hanging. It looks like it's hanging on to that support level, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like that run up, that drop to the run up it feels scary, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it could accelerate down here, is what I've been looking at anyway, maybe down here, which would line up with Bitcoin dropping again, potentially. So, yeah, is Trump speaking today at some point, or just tweeting? I think he's just tweeting or saying things. I don't think he's actually got like. I don't know. I don't know if he's got an official speech. It's not really marked out in like the FX calendar that. So, yeah, I don't know. He just comes out really. He puts it on Truth Social first, doesn't he? Most of the time. But Bitcoin is recovering slightly. It's had a decent hourly candle. So yeah. I'm potentially wondering. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are for over the summer or anything, but I think could we see like May where we got the lower the month in early? Could we see maybe like a high of June in early, and then it just completely has
It's just strange, isn't it? I don't see where an impulse comes immediately, and I think the downside risk is probably more. It's probably more so. I think just pick. My advice to people really is just don't, unless you're really confident and you can just directionally trade it. Just find 3 or 4 projects that you really like that I think are in sort of the DeFi space that are making money, that institutions will like. Set a DCA, and then just trade the chop over summer.
Yeah, I mean, I saw something yesterday. Obviously, this is interesting.
Farage.
10% capital gains tax. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. But, I mean, are we just seeing... I don't know what everyone's opinion on this is, but with all this stuff of countries creating Bitcoin reserves and everyone getting... Do you not just think that this is just one massive like top signal just firing off over and over and over and over? Like, remember how excited everyone got last time? And then obviously it just ended up being the top. I don't know like what side of the fence to sit on it really, because with everything that, I mean, I don't know if you saw the picture yesterday, but there was a picture of like Michael Saylor and like there was even Brian Johnson there and Steve Aoki and everyone all together for, I don't know whether it was for the Bitcoin conference or something else, but there was just like all these people together on this Bitcoin picture. And I'm just like, if we would have saw this like a couple of years ago, everyone would be saying that this is a top signal. So I don't know. I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated to know everyone's thoughts. Get them in the chat. Does anyone actually think that the top is in and we're maybe now starting the kind of disbelief to the downside, or what? I'd be fascinated to know, because still most of the time I just see people absolutely certain that we're going so much higher, like with absolute certainty. Like I don't see anyone really exercising caution that potentially we could have maybe just had like another double top like we got in 2021.
Yeah, I think the interesting trade to look out for is there are some memes which, if we do see a significant pullback, whilst they're down a lot today, we could some are looking scary.
Well, Fartcoin has started its descent, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that one not so much. I think that one still has shown a lot more strength. The ones that I'm looking at is like Peanut is sat on if Peanut loses this level, this is something a very scary ride down.
Yeah, and this is something that I looked at on stream ages ago, talking about this type of thing here. I've left it on Bonk because I remember a while ago, I think it might have been on with Justin, where I was talking about things becoming like oversold, getting a rally up, and then just tailing off all the way back down, because this is like, it's so easy to pump things when everything has gone down like 80-90%, and it not being any sort of shifting regime or whatever. It's literally just a pump, because things can pump so easily, so there's money to be made by the big players. But yeah, I know what you mean. You know, when you go on the daily chart, I mean, that looks pretty scary. Everything that you look at, I mean, Pepe came into key resistance here, came into big supply, didn't
Pepe
break.
looks scary.
Yeah, rejected. And then you've just got, like on Doge, you look at it on Doge as well here, but you can clearly see it on Pepe that we've just got this big void in price now before you come into sort of any sort of thing. I mean, what I would say on Pepe is if we do get a drawdown, you can see a nice little bit of where do we draw this? Maybe somewhere around there. I don't know. Maybe pull it down a little bit. Yeah, maybe into there. A potential nice level for a bounce. But yeah, I mean, everything looks good. I mean, Fartcoin. While the momentum is definitely still with this in it. I think it's probably like the, you know, it's the buzzword in it. It's the buzz meme.
Yeah, and I it feels like Fartcoin is slightly different to the other memes in that it seems to it moves a lot more naturally, and it has that strength. I think some of the other ones. So what's on my list to look at shorting? So I've mentioned Peanut being in a bit of a scary place. I think Bonk, Goat. I don't know. The Goatius Maximus is that looks
name.
Pardon?
What's it called? What's its name?
Goatius Maximus.
Send it to zero.
The ticket Goat.
Send Goat. That to zero.
That is sat on a that is literally sat on a key level of support with a, let's measure it out, 45% drop below it back to any sort of point of volume.
Yeah. I mean, look at it all. I mean, look at Pengu. The thing literally just went down only. If you didn't have the ticker, you would think this was like Melania or something, wouldn't you? Like without the pump. I actually don't know what that's done, but I mean, here, you know, another one whiff, done like 5x from the bottom. Like, where is the value in buying this thing now? There's not really, is there? Like, it's done a 5x from the bottom, and this, I would say, you know, this thing is just prime for rolling over, isn't it? Giga, I mean, look at them all.
It's all the same. All the same.
Oh my god, yeah, look at Peanut. Oh yeah, that one-way ticket to hell, isn't it? But I mean, look at Turbo. It's like just like look at the rounding off on it. Like, that is just like on a cliff edge to come and fill all this in. Moodeng, look at this piece of shit here. Look at that. I mean, that on the second entry into there, that was the prime spot for shorting, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wish I'd got that one. I didn't get that one, unfortunately. TMG's got a big short on that.
Who has?
I think TMG's got a big short on
Moodeng. Has it?
Yeah.
Brett, I mean,
but that's prime to roll.
Yeah, all of them look pretty horrific. I mean, look at Melania. It didn't even get a pump. Didn't even get a pump with a hole in May. Like, this thing is just actually going to zero.
Sad.
I can't believe that. I mean, yeah, there you go, another one. Mog, Floki. Yeah, they all look the same. But yeah, I think it is pretty scary the way they're all just kind of now like leaning over the edge. Like, they're like leaning over the cliff, aren't they? Just looking down, going, "Oh, that's a pretty steep drop. That if you were to fall down from there." And then someone's just going to come along, Bitcoin's just going to come along and go, pump, and just give it a little tap over the edge and just, whew. So, yeah. SMFC says, I think it's done. I'm bored of crypto a bit anyway at this point. So SMFC, you heard it here first. SMFC is calling for a cycle top. There you go. Put some words in his mouth, but there you go. You heard it here first. SMFC thinks the cycle's done. Trump tweeted out to ask everyone to make sure they get Stonksy indicated. Well, they better listen. They better listen to the boss. That's what I say. Helen says, I think it's done too, but that makes it just more probable that we will rock it soon. I don't think so, mate. I think you should back yourself. John says, sell all your shitcoins and buy Plop. Plop, yeah? Oh, yeah, Plop. I'll tell you what, I'll try and get some info on Plop. Maybe for one of the streams next week. Maybe we could have Ross on to talk about Plop. I don't know if he knows much about Plop. Or, we need to get TMG on a Stonksy stream soon. That would be good. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting, kind of. I liked the cycle top in November/December. Yeah, that was a good one because altcoins got a proper push then, didn't they? Everything went 5 to 20x kind of in November and December. That was a really good push. This latest push back up has not really saw anything do anything of note apart from hype and maybe a few others. A couple of things have gone 2x, like Sui's gone 2x. ETH has had a 40% pump. Solana's pumped. But it's not really been crazy, has it? To be fair, memes have done well. Memes have done you could have bought anything in April, couldn't you? Towards the bottom, meme-wise, and you would have ended up with a 5x or something. The memes have done well, but yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. HH says, Bitcoin's been a beautiful devil. It has. HH says, hype or Sol or Sui? Oh, what if I had to pick one? God, that's a tricky question, that.
I think at these prices, I'd rather have Sui at these prices personally, but only because I think the risk reward has gone on hype, and I think Solana's in a bit of a tricky spot.
Well, does it get any better for Solana than when the president launched a coin network?
And that's when I unloaded heavily. I thought, the stuff I'd held on to, I saw after President Trump had run it up to $290. You're not getting not when you
a bigger rally than that. That was insane.
The top signal.
Yeah.
If you wanted a top signal,
it was, wasn't it?
A meme coin on a chain was a pretty good indicator.
Yeah, but HH, what do you mean? What in terms of what? Are you mean? I'm guessing you mean in what is better for upside action is what I'm guessing. But what do you mean? Maybe he's trying to cycles. Maybe he's trying to say I'm going to short one of these, and which one would you short? I don't know. But let us know.
I would say short hype, but I don't know where hype stops, because the beauty you've got of hype is the fact that they're buying back tokens with revenue, and whilst it's not really a train you want to. If the market is this red and something is that green, I don't want to short anything just because it's there. In terms of upside action in long term, it's a tricky one, because I would have said hype. However, I would have. The time to buy hype was in the crash when it was at $10.
Yeah.
At $30, it's a bit harder.
Yeah, personally, I don't think I would buy any of them now. Not with the risk of potentially Bitcoin correcting anyway. It's just my personal opinion, not financial advice, of course, but I don't think. Just personally, I don't think anything is a good buy now.
No.
With how high dominance is, and with how little altcoins have ran, if Bitcoin drops even 5%, altcoins are going to get absolutely smashed. Helen says there's always a chance to buy back in the next cycle if this is not the top and you miss more profits. I don't know about you, Wiz, but I think I'm just going to go fully Bitcoin next cycle.
Yeah. To be fair, you're saying this, Dave, to a man who spends most of his time buying and trading stocks now rather than crypto. But what I will say to people is that you make money on both sides, and I mean that's probably the people that have really lost out this cycle are the people that, and to be fair, myself included, the people who have held too much spot and not just picked what they like and traded it directionally. Like Sui, if you traded Sui directionally, you would have made a fortune because it's just on the high time frame. So if you put it on, I'd say, Dave, like the weekly.
Yeah.
And look at, so if you traded this directionally and you just bought it up over the summer, sold it when it looked high, put your orders in where the obvious point was at that sort of 1.7 to $2 mark. Like, if you look at the chart, that was one of the most obvious places to buy in because you had it as resistance, support. It launched from there, came back, tested it, held it, and then went up from there.
Yeah.
And it honestly wouldn't surprise me if it revisits there and has another go.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at it on the weekly, this is just looking like one big macro lower high, isn't it? You know, you got your high, you've got a low, you've got a lower high now, potentially forming. Yeah. So, I mean, do we see something like that?
Yeah, and I guarantee you, the big boys that unloaded at that $4 to $5 mark will probably have orders set again for the $2 mark, and that is where they'll wait for it to come back.
Yeah,
and there won't be much strength in Sui until it gets back to maybe just above that $2 mark. Depends how well they defend it, but their orders will probably be stacked at that $2 mark. Gets to $2, they run it up again. People FOMO in, runs up to $4, and they just rinse and repeat.
Yeah, it is fascinating. LDO's up 7% today. Inge has been having a good time of it recently. While something, it's had a fall off. Stonksy catching it beautifully there. Look at that from Stonksy on the 6-minute double confirmation again. That's been trading it absolutely perfectly up and down. But I think that's another one that's done about 2x off the bottom.
Cow down. Ooh, it's getting into my bid zone.
Is it?
Yeah. See, this is what I mean about the most success you'll have is just rinse and repeating it. Like if you go out, I'd say, Dave, put this on the daily. And this is what I mean about the value in this market is just this rinse and repeating. Look, pump, pull back, find an entry, ride the next wave up, sell it when it looks to be topping out. I know it's easier said than done, but when you look at it on high time frames and you know sort of where you're looking for, like that looks a perfect retest of that 39 cents mark.
Yeah,
which is where I entered last time. Like, just stack your orders back there when it runs up, sell it, and then just have your orders set again to buy it back.
It is interesting. I mean, something like Cato as well. That's rallied monstrously, and you just know at some point it's going to pull back. Like if we look at it, I mean, look at the state of it.
Yeah.
It's pretty much gone back into. I mean, I think that was your kind of risk reward, wasn't it? Short there as it came back in towards these highs, particularly when it was closing the daily below them. So like wicking in and then closing below. This again is like look at the cliff edge, looking downwards. I mean, if we look at what's happened to Pi, because these two have moved very similarly. Like when
that's just an exit pump, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nothing more than an exit pump.
Yeah, but I mean, this thing is fascinating, really. Yeah, you've got all this built up here. You've then obviously got all the inefficiency to the downside. So yeah, definitely.
Has Jasmine died off yet?
I don't know. Where is Jasmine? Let's see.
They're below WorldCoin.
Ah, yes. 16 cents. Oh, look at that on Stonksy there. Bang. Bang. Let's see. Not quite yet. It's rolling. Looking like it's rolling over, isn't it? But yeah.
None of it looks healthy, does it?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with all these coins is that none of them will survive if Bitcoin starts tanking. That's why I always say it doesn't, you just look at what Bitcoin's going to do. If Bitcoin starts dropping 5, 10, 15%, doesn't matter how good something looks, that is all getting scrapped and it's being hit massively to the downside, isn't it? Yeah, you could have the best chart set up in the world on an altcoin, and if Bitcoin starts dumping, the likelihood is it's just going to get completely ruined.
Yeah.
Colin says that isn't the inflation close to levels that would allow for lower interest rates? In the US, yeah, they've been there for a while. The Feds wanted like close to 2%, but they've been in that 2% range for ages.
Yeah, from a macro point of view, I don't want to say it's bad, but I think we are heading towards. There's some very, very worrying charts. I think the real one to keep an eye on is the US gilt yields, because they are going up and up and up and up and up, and usually when they go up, that signals a not very good outlook from investors, and it's pretty. So to put it into perspective, now the US yield is back above where it was in 2008, which the reversal on that is pretty nasty.
Yeah, I think definitely, like, inflation's there to be caught. Now, what was interesting was Powell met with Trump yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly if it come out what they discussed or whatever, but you know exactly what Trump's saying to him. We need lower rates. And to be honest, there's probably a good chance that Powell, being so stubborn as he is, maybe cuts too late. Like, if there's no kind of release, then they could end up cutting too late, and then there could be like real repercussions. Because then if they start having emergency cuts, that's when things aren't good. Like, when you look through history, when there's emergency increases or emergency cuts, that's when things aren't good. The Bank of England made an emergency cut because of what Trump was doing with the tariffs, and markets were just absolutely bleeding. Emergency cuts, not what we want the Fed to do. We want
you cut
on the road.
You tend to cut. So central banks, this is the only real weapon they have in their arsenal, is the interest rates, and you tend to cut to increase demand. Now, when you cut to try and increase demand, you then potentially have the wrath of inflation. I think we're in a really difficult spot where inflation is still quite high, so you can't really cut. And I don't think there's been enough signs that the US economy is bad from a demand perspective. I think it's slightly different in Europe. I think Europe is struggling. But yeah, the macro picture doesn't look good. And I think there's so many headwinds. Like you look at it, we've got Bitcoin at all-time high, but there's essentially several wars in the world. You've got pretty poor economic data coming through. Unless you believe, like, the Bitcoin endgame is that fiat currencies collapse, which, to be honest, Dave, I think looking at it, I think fiat currencies may collapse in some places. Yeah, it's not a pretty picture.
I've always wondered this, because I know like what Bitcoin was built for, but I've never seen it as money. Like, I've always seen it as, store of value, and obviously an asset that goes up. You have to buy Bitcoin with fiat. And you can obviously get like a real like instant pump on it because of like any sort of rush out of fiat into Bitcoin. But in the event of the US dollar collapsing, I don't think everyone like realizes what would happen to like the actual crypto space, and that happens because then you get Tether, the biggest player, USDC in there as well. Suddenly, like
Tether would collapse because
all that's collapsing. Then all exchanges collapse because most of their reserves are probably held in stablecoin. So then you can't have anywhere to buy Bitcoin because all the exchanges have collapsed because because all their monies started collapsing because Tether and USDC are collapsing because the dollar is. So then all exchanges pretty much probably go bankrupt. Then there's nowhere to buy Bitcoin. Everyone that thinks they own Bitcoin is then locked on exchanges. That's on exchanges. So then exchanges have all this Bitcoin locked up. I think like the idea of that is actually so chaotic that I don't think it would actually be any good. I think that the path that Bitcoin's taking now in just doing its thing and going up based on demand for being like a store of value and not money is better than it being viewed as quick get out of fiat and get into Bitcoin. Because like the actual wider picture is like the whole industry would just collapse because you've got about $200 billion that would end up, if the US dollar collapsed, worthless from in stable coins, and then all exchanges go bankrupt, and then suddenly there's nowhere to buy and sell Bitcoin.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it would just be absolute anarchy. I don't think that's actually like a really good thing to happen.
No.
But yeah,
it's the guilt charts are horrendous. I don't think there's any other way to put it. Like, they are horrendous. But yeah, anyway, enough of the doom and gloom. I've got to drop off shortly, Dave, but I can give a quick rundown of all the stuff that I've got on my watch list.
Yeah, sure, mate. Do it.
People are interested.
Yeah. Sean, how we doing? And Cryptogenic says smash like, sure. Yeah, do make sure everyone drops a like on the stream. Big thank you for joining us today, whether you're on YouTube or X. Thank you for watching the stream, and make sure you do drop a big like on it as well. But yeah, if you want to run through what you're currently looking at, mate, that would be great.
Yeah. So obviously my thesis on defense stocks, I am currently in a nice profit. I'm long on Thales. Tal. What else? From a mining stocks actually, I think, as we sort of talked about the opportunity, IREN, I think we've talked through that one. I think I shared that one in the Stonksy Discord, and I think a few people who took it are sitting very, very pretty on that one. That one's starting to roll over a little bit, so it's getting to a good point to look for new entries. What else have we got? Cores. So Core Scientific is another one that's pivoting to AI. This is really interesting, and I think I spoke about this in a video, but a really, really interesting thing is going back to sort of that data center issue. Is you're seeing companies now paying these Bitcoin miners to convert to AI or to add the capacity for AI, and they're fully underwriting all of the costs. So Core Scientific is one where I've forgotten who it was now, but they basically paid them the entirety of the cost to convert and paid future revenue to them up front. So they're essentially having this risk-free pivot into data centers. And I think data centers are, if you're going to take anything away from any of the results or any of the financials or anything you've heard this week, NVIDIA data centers are the massive takeaway. Like, I think people haven't fully grasped like the direction of travel that's taken.
Yeah.
The fact that you've now, where it was traditionally companies who had to make revenues who were buying this, you've got nation states buying NVIDIA chips like they're going out of fashion.
Yeah.
And you've got Mr. Trump, basically, that was his mission in the Middle East. It was we know we're going to an AI led future. You guys have got a boatload of money. You want our technology. Let's do a deal. And trillions of dollars are pouring into it. I think without dwelling on it too long, I think that shows just what a resource this is, that you've got nation states buying it.
Yeah.
Which you can say all you want about Bitcoin. And to be honest, if nation states have all of this data center power, they may mine their own Bitcoin. We're seeing Pakistan look at doing that. Nation states buying it. No one has pockets deeper than the Gulf states.
Yeah. And Tether's just announced that they're pouring in billions now. They want to become the biggest Bitcoin miner.
Exactly. Like
they're going to be, and they already bought up loads of Nvidia chips over the past 2 years. Tether.
Exactly.
They're going to have to go and buy up loads and loads of chips, and loads of hardware to obviously become the biggest Bitcoin miner.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And I think as well, one of my ways of finding some of these low cap stocks which do quite well is go through and look at the companies that the Nvidias and the AMDs and the chip makers and the AI companies are buying. Look at those, look at the sectors they're in, look at the problems they're solving, and look at Nvidia packs saying where they think AI will be used and whatnot, and buy both the companies that are doing it, but also the incumbent companies that are moving to AI that are already in that space, because they'll be the ones to do so. John Deere is a perfect example. Like they make tractors, they'll always make tractors. Tractors will always be needed. AI in tractors will make it completely a cheat code. Like you've got AI farming will be a cheat code.
Imagine how much time it would save a farmer if they drive the tractor onto a piece of land, and I don't know much about farming, but imagine it's got loads of settings on it, and you can choose, I don't know, go and dig up some potatoes or something or whatever, and you put the tractor in potato mode, and it's obviously got sensors everywhere, so it's not going to go out the field or whatever. And the farmers then got 2 hours spare free time to go and do something else while this tractor starts digging up all the potatoes for them or whatever it may be.
Yeah, the owner of it, but
they come back 2 hours later and the tractor's done all the work on its own.
Yeah, but then if you look past it, there'll be a point where the farmer won't be needed. It'll be the AI doing it.
Yeah,
and the AI you'll have IoT sensors and things in the ground which will tell you how ready everything is, what the moisture levels are in grain, how well it's cooked, or how well it's blossomed out, or whatever grain does. I'm not a farmer, but it's the impact is it's going to be pretty profound, and I think there's some really good plays. I think if you get in, hold, and look at where they'll go. I mean, even trading. I mean, we're seeing now trading to a large extent is now a lot of it's AI. You've got a lot of high frequency algorithms and AI systems running it.
Yeah.
How long until the traditional traders of me and you, etc., can compete with a machine that's able to read Stonksy and buy and sell? The Stonksy bot is a prime example. That thing will take over the world. It'll be able to trade better than any of us. It already can. I think it's one of those. It's exciting. I think just look at what can change, and then what companies will be the beneficiaries, and what will and what will come of it. But I'll leave everyone on that, and I'll be sharing some of my stock picks in the Stonksy Discord if people do wish to put them on their radars. I think some will do well. Not financial advice at all, but I think some may do quite well.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining me. And before you go, what are you up to this weekend? You got much going on?
So I'm seeing the boys for the final tomorrow, and we'll be mostly getting stuff done. I'm on holiday next week, so I fly on Thursday, so a bit of packing as well.
Very nice, mate. Very
fly
nice.
Fly being the optimum word. I'm going to the Isle of Man, and I'm flying from Liverpool. So I reckon I'm in the air for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. You don't fancy getting the ferry over?
I looked at it. The ferry's pretty fun, but the ferry was a bit more expensive, to be honest.
Was it?
It's easier, yeah. The ferries there only worked. So to put the ferry, we'd have got in at 1 a.m. Because the ferries just get booked more than the flights because people take their motorbikes and their cars over.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an island, Dave, that has no speed limits, so it's people are keen to take a vehicle over there and experience that.
Yeah, I've never been. I want to go, so I'd like to go at some point.
I think you'd like it. It's a good place. No tax, no speed limits. What more can you ask for?
Exactly that.
Anyway, I will leave you for open, and have
a great
get your bid set for cow. Get your bid set for cow, and just rinse and repeat, because that's the only way to make money in the market at the moment. But take care.
All right, mate. Thanks very much for joining. Have a good one.
In a bit. Bye.
Bye. And that was the Wizard of Alt. Big thanks to him for joining. Good discussion. Always a good discussion with Wiz. Oh, and we just had SMFC say article is up. Well, let's go and have a look at that. So, SMFC has just got a new article onto the Medium looking at the oscillator. Let's go take a look at it. Go and have a look at it now. How to use the Stonksy oscillator. So this is on the Medium page if you want to go and have a read yourself. So let's have a read through it. The Stonksy oscillator is the perfect companion to the original Stonksy indicator. The indicator uses a variable signal rather than showing binary trade signals overlaid on the chart to grant a momentum-based view from its own dedicated panel, giving traders a dynamic feel for shifts in market strength. So, the Stonksy oscillator is a momentum-focused companion to the Stonksy indicator. It tracks sentiment with a dynamic curve, no more rigid binary signals, built-in alerts and entry/exit cues make it ideal for scalping, swing trading, and intraday setups. Stackable format means it's easy to pair with the core Stonksy overlay for added clarity. So this article will overview the oscillator before looking at 3 strategies a trader could use in conjunction with it. So what is it? Obviously, for those of you that want to know it, you can read it there. Core features, so it's a momentum curve, built-in alerts, stackable design, entry-exit timing, and who is it for? Literally anyone. Obviously, all Stonksy users get access to the oscillator. So strategy 1, long-term trend spotting, 1 hour plus timeframes. The Stonksy oscillator shines on high timeframes when it comes to identifying powerful sustained trends. This strategy is built for swing or position traders using the 1 hour chart and above, with trades typically lasting 2 to 5 days. How it works? The key to this strategy is watching for momentum shift from bearish to bullish near the -1 baseline, the bottom of the oscillator. When the oscillator turns from dark red to light red in this zone and starts trending upward, it may signal the beginning of a bullish trend. This color change often marks a potential early long entry before price action takes off. The converse can also be true for short entries from the +1 line to the top of the indicator. So traders wanting to go long should look for the oscillator bottom -1, shifting color, and then a clean upward slope forming. Entry example, so here you go. If you want to have a look at this, it is on the Medium page. You can find that on the website, or if you go on Medium and type in Stonksy. Breakout confirmation. In the second trade of the setup, the oscillator successfully crossed the midline, confirming strong bullish momentum that the trade resulted in an 11.52% increase. There we go. So strategy 2, momentum scalping on low time frames. So we'll skip that. Again, if you want to have a read of it, you can come and have a read. Do make sure you do that after the stream. But so short entries, when the oscillator drops from the upper zone around +1, especially after turning dark red. Long entries, when the oscillator rises from the baseline around -1, particularly as it turns light red, a sign of early bullish pressure. So as you can see here, arrows alongside the momentum curve. And then strategy 3 is dual confirmation using oscillator plus overlay. And if you zoom in, there is plenty of text on these if you want to have a look. But this is using Stonksy itself alongside the oscillator. So yeah, do make sure you come and have a read of this. There's plenty of information, and SMFC puts these together to really give an in-depth outlook and an overview on how to benefit from Stonksy. It's put loads of time and effort into putting this together for everyone, and of course, giving you the best guide on how to use the oscillator. So do check that out. Let's close this. So the poll finished on 62% or down. I thought most people think we're going down. Do make sure you drop a like on the stream now and subscribe. And of course, if you're looking to trade anything today, do make sure you join BLOFIN. Non-KYC. First link in the description, and it is in the chat. And of course, you can get 20% off Stonksy still on the monthly plan with code BOT20. That is still available for anyone who's not signed up yet. But yeah, we've got 7 minutes to go until the US market opens, so we will keenly wait for that. And in the meantime, if anyone's got anything they would like to pop into the chat, do let me know if you'd like me to look at anything specific. If you've got anything you'd like to say, any questions on Stonksy, whatever it may be, get it into the chat and I can definitely look at that for you. Where's your champion's hat? Yeah, I could have one of them on, to be fair. Do you know what's funny? It was only the other day, RN, that I was thinking, oh, when it gets close to Christmas time, I could get a Santa hat on and wear a Santa hat on stream, can't I? I was thinking about that the other day. Cryptogenic says, random question for a laugh. What's the best tea in the UK? It is Yorkshire, mate. Yeah, Yorkshire tea is by far the best tea. And anyone who says otherwise is wrong. Yorkshire tea is the best. But I tell you what about Halloween? I suppose I could probably find a pumpkin hat, couldn't I? I could probably find a pumpkin hat or something. We'll do a pumpkin hat at Halloween as well. But yeah, anyone who says Yorkshire tea isn't the best is just simply wrong. But what I was going to say was, yeah, what's the worst tea? Tetley is bad. Tetley is shocking, isn't it? I'll tell you what is nice is that it's what's the company called now? I've got the green tea bags downstairs. The green tea. It's an organic make. Like everything they make is organic, but it's called like the something. It's in all the shops and stuff. That's a good tea make. That's a really nice tea make. But yeah, I tell you something else good about Yorkshire tea as well that most people don't realise. So do you know, in most tea bags, because the bag that holds the tea leaves, in most teas, when you boil a cup of tea, it releases like loads and loads of microplastics into your brew. Where Yorkshire tea, I think, use a natural like tea bag lining and natural glue to hold the tea bag together. So Yorkshire tea is good for that. But this organic make as well, I have the green tea bags for downstairs, is obviously just everything's organic and natural. But a lot of teas, yeah, when you actually make a cup of tea, their tea bags release tons of microplastics into your tea. So yeah, that's why Yorkshire tea is the best. But I'd love to. I can't remember what the name of this tea company is. It is in every like supermarket and stuff with all the teas. But it's an organic make. I can't remember. Tea Pigs. I don't think it's Tea Pigs. No, I don't think it's Tea Pigs. But maybe that's another good one as well. Yeah, definitely Yorkshire tea is the best. RN says you're getting mixed up with your bag of weed. That's actually quite funny. I can tell you I'm not, but yeah, good laugh. No, it's not Tea Pigs. I can't remember the name of it. Clipper. I think it might be Clipper. Yeah, I think it might be Clipper. You know, I've got a feeling that rings a bell. It's definitely not Tea Pigs, but Clipper rings a bell. Bit spending, but yeah, I tell you what, I can't remember how much it was. It wasn't cheap like that green tea I bought. It wasn't cheap, but it does last. Can sometimes get them in tea. Okay. Yeah, no, it is good. Like, it is good. So we've got 2 minutes until the US market opens. Let's have a quick look. See what the Magnificent Seven are doing pre-market. We've got Nvidia down, not much to be honest. We have Apple down. I think everything's going to be down, but not. It looks like everything's going to be down, but not by much, by a couple of points. Oh no, actually, Microsoft is up a little bit. Amazon is down a little bit. Tesla is down a couple of points. And Google is down a little bit as well. Yeah, so nothing major on either side. But yeah, things are looking down pre-market in the Magnificent Seven, bar Microsoft. We could have a quick look at the liquidation heat map as well. I don't think we've looked at that yet. Yeah, build up either side. I mean, the 24-hour liquidity, you just know, don't you? You just know there's going to be build up below and above the local highs. The 3-day is still showing a nice hot spot around just below 110. So that's where the hot spot is there. The 1 week shows a clearance of downside liquidity with the hot spot just under 111. And then the 2 week time frame is showing, if it loads, yeah, we've run through a couple of the hot spots actually on the 2 weeks. So look at this one. There is another one here, but that's run through a decent amount of liquidity with the low one at 104. And then, of course, the big build up on the 2 week time frame is above the all-time high. So that's where we're at, and we have got US Open coming in pretty much round about now. So there we go. The US market is open for the last trading day of May. This is the last trading day of May for TradFi. So hold on to your hats. And we'll see if we get anything. See if we get anything of interest. Ow. TMG just posted a trade in Discord. Looks like he's short and everything. Let's see. In the CSE Discord. Okay. That James is crazy, isn't it? Does anyone think that 1 month is short? Right. Okay. Thanks, Raul. Yeah, man. Yeah. Does anyone think that this whole James Wynn thing is just like a ploy, a marketing ploy by Hyperliquid? I kind of think that it's just not even real, and they kind of just give him some money. So whatever, I don't know what he started off with, but I've got a feeling that they kind of just give him what he started off with or something. I think there's just more to it than this guy is just going completely just pure DJing gambling with tens of millions of dollars. Because it's just got everyone looking at Hyperliquid, hasn't it? Does anyone think that it's actually just a marketing ploy by Hyperliquid? We're dropping on open now after a couple minutes. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe the guy is just complete lunatic. I mean, who gambles away $80 million? Why do you need more than $80 million? You don't, do you? Like $80 million. I just can't get it right. I can't get my head around it. Yeah, I know. Well, the thing is, this is sometimes what happens, isn't it? Because he called Pepe, or I don't even know if he actually did, but he claims to have called Pepe at 600k market cap, which obviously did like something stupid. I think I looked at, is it like 14,000x? SMFC says, what would you do with 80 million? Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know what the first thing I would do is. I think the first thing I would do is, so say for instance, I looked at my phone now and I just had 80 million quid in my bank account. Say that you could actually do what you wanted with it, because you can't. Like, if I wanted to say send me mum $1 million quid, you obviously, they're not going to allow you to do that on online banking, are they? You'll have to. I don't know how you would do it. You'd have to ring up or go in branch or get some special phone number for high net worth people or something. But I'd give me mum $1 million. I would give my brother $1 million. I would give some more family members some chunks of change. And then from there, I think I would buy definitely the nicest house in the area, because I actually like where I live at the moment. I don't actually want to move away. So I wouldn't just go like, oh, well, I'm just going to go and buy an island somewhere or something. No, I would stay here. So I would I'd go on Rightmove or something and look at, the most dear house in the area. Or I've always liked the idea of, if you just have that much money and you know your area, you kind of know, don't you, when you see a house from just living in an area, you see a house and you go, I'd love to have that house or something. If you've got a house in mind, and even if it's not for sale, just go and knocking on the door and going, I want to buy your house. Whatever it's worth, I'll give you 20% over what it's worth or something. So either one of them, if there's a nice house on there, you'd obviously could buy the biggest one in the area or whatever. So I would do that. And then from there, I don't know. I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably go and buy, what would I buy? Probably go and buy a Urus or something, I think. I don't know. I don't know. And then I probably wouldn't do like crazy stuff with it, to be honest. I would probably accrue most of the interest on it. I wouldn't go crazy. I'd probably enjoy being able to do whatever I wanted for the rest of life. I wouldn't go and just blow it all on mad stuff. I would probably actually retain. I mean, you could take 10% of that, couldn't you? You could take 10% of 80 million quid and go completely nuts and still have 90% in there to make sure that you can live a very, 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 very comfortable life and never have to worry about anything ever again. So maybe do that. I don't know what I'd even do with 8 million quid, to be honest. But I definitely do some good stuff with it. What would everyone else do with 80 million quid? It depends on your goals. Surely for most people, 1 billion is a lot. More than ever you need. Who want to change the world is not enough. I mean, what were you going to do for billion? What would you do for billion quid? Like, it's all just material stuff, innit? What you need is, in my opinion anyway, it's not so much like if you've got a life that you're happy with before money, you don't really need to change it that much after money, because then all basically it is, it's just material stuff, innit? Like, literally, if you're happy with your life before you get loads of money, then when you've got loads of money, life shouldn't really change that much, apart from you could literally just do whatever you wanted. But you don't need loads of material stuff to then make you happy, do you? Because if you're happy with your life beforehand, it just obviously gives you an even better, more comfortable life to do whatever. SMFC says I'd get a farm. Very nice. Turn it into 10. Own a F1 team. I suppose, yeah, if you're into your F1, Nick, then if you're into your F1, then yeah, why not? Why not? I'd probably go and get a box at Liverpool, actually. That'd be one. I'd go and buy a box every year at Liverpool. So that would be one thing I would do. That's probably one thing I would spend some money on. Dish some money out, get a box at Liverpool. I would. What else would I do? That's a waste of money, Dave. It's not. Because the interest would pay for that. The interest will pay for that. I don't think it's a waste of money. I think that'd be great. It gives you something to do. Doesn't it? The thing is, most people get bored, don't they? Well, I assume. Kind of and that's why, maybe rich people, they go after material stuff all the time, because they're bored with nothing else to do. But I don't know. I don't think I will ever make 80 million quid, so I don't really know. I don't think I'll ever have that issue. Buy a small non-league club, then build your own box. See, no, because I do know what you mean, but I just don't like the idea of having that, all that responsibility on trying to build a club up and stuff. I just would have no interest in that at all, mate. I'd like to just go and watch Liverpool in a box and then go home and then have no headache. I bet you still get loads of headaches, and obviously you could employ someone to take care of all them headaches, couldn't you? But I just think it would just be it's pretty much just a 24/7 thing constantly, and owning something like that. I like a life with at least stress as possible. So anything that's going to add me stress potentially, I kind of try and stay away from. It's just what's the point? Pellin says, how are stocks doing? Let's go and have a look. They were down on open. Nvidia is down a little bit, so down just over 1%. Apple is down 0.75%. Meta's down nearly 0.5%. Microsoft is up 0.10%. Amazon is down 0.7%. Tesla is down just over 1%, and Google is down 0.7% as well. So a red open for the Magnificent Seven. It makes you happy. It's not a waste of money. Chase experience. Yeah, I don't know. I tell you what, I might have to think about that over the weekend and come back with it. I might have a think about that. Well, what would you do with 80 million quid, SMFC? I know you said you'd buy a farm, but that's a drop in the ocean, isn't it? What would you do with the rest of the money? I tell you what I would do. I would build the sickest home gym. Obviously, you'd go and buy whatever house you wanted, but I would build the sickest home gym. So I would like buy a house with loads of land, like, you know, plenty of land to build stuff on. I would build an outbuilding, and I'd build it quite sizable. So you'd have all the gym equipment. Then I would want a heated swimming pool that you can just go and jump in. So, you know, when you finish your workout, you don't even have to go and get changed or whatever. You could just jump straight into the pool. It would have a steam room, a sauna, that having like an outbuilding with all that in. Oh, that'd be epic. What else? Oh. I'd buy a brand new Suzuki Swift. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Very good. I think I'd want to do something. I'd want to do something good as well. Like, because obviously you would have loads of time on your hands, wouldn't you? You would have all the time in the world. I would want to do some good. So I would probably want to go out and maybe donate a lot of money to food banks in local areas. So, you know, the surrounding areas, donate money to food banks, so maybe they've got enough money to stock the food bank for like a year each and give them some like kind of breathing room. So I'd probably do that. And then I would probably maybe find some like a couple of local charities or organizations or whatever that needed a hand financially, and sort them out. And then that's kind of like your good deeds done, isn't it? Bring yourself, because what you don't want is, you know, you don't want to get 80 million quid and then something bad happen to you. You know, you want to try and bring yourself some good karma, don't you? Yeah. I don't know what else I'd do. I'd have to have a think about it. I'll tell you what, here's a question, SMFC. Would you, with 80 million quid, would you just simply just keep it all in fiat because it's as much money as you would need and you would never need more than that and you can do whatever you want? Or would you still allocate a portion of it to Bitcoin? Now that's an interesting question. I like the way you think you will have much left after buying your seat at the top. I wonder how much, I don't know how much a box is. I'd have play money in crypto, but why risk it? Yeah, exactly. I think if I had 80 million quid today, I don't think I would go and buy Bitcoin now. If Bitcoin went down to say 50k, I would maybe allocate like 10% into Bitcoin from there. I mean, you could buy it here because you wouldn't really need to be bothered about it if you lost 50%, would you? But I still probably wouldn't want to do that. So, yeah. Interesting. To have 80 million quid, eh? To have 80 million quid. If anyone wants to drop me 80 million quid, feel free. If we've got any secret billionaires in here that like coming to the stream in the shadows, I'm certainly willing to accept that. I can accept Tether, I can accept USDC, I can accept Bitcoin. If you want to give me 80 million quid to play with, then I'll definitely accept it. You've got the complications of getting it out at the end. And AML guys don't like crypto at all. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You accept hugs, of course, mate, of course. Why not? Why not? But yeah, we've not really had much, have we? Let's see what we've got. So, not had Ethereum really move at all while we've been on stream. Actually, it's pretty much roundabout. It dropped a little bit, but not massively. XRP. Let's go and have a look on the 1 hour on some of these things. XRP is red on the hourly, which has been a nice call from Stonksy. Sol, like we discussed before, is hanging on for dear life. BNB. Yeah, I mean everything's just down, isn't it? It's pretty much the message. Like everything is down. Link is falling off a little bit. Sui, Ava, yeah. I mean, it's not having a good time for alts, is it? With Bitcoin dominance being so high. ARB is being hit hard. That's 8% down. Wow. OP. I'm interested to see that. Yeah, of course it did. I could just tell. I knew without even looking the first time that the 6 minute would have caught that. I just knew it. Look at ARB and OP. Look at how similar their moves are. Look at the structure of the moves, and look at them. Exactly the same. ENA. Pretty much they're all carbon copies of each other, aren't they? Apart from you've got ENA ahead, and then WorldCoin. Everything is looking very similar. Yeah, nothing too much. I mean, Bitcoin is making a push to the upside now. Where is that? Making a little push up to the upside. Yeah, do make sure you come and check out this Medium article once the stream's over. Have a good read of it, and obviously have an in-depth understanding on the oscillator and how it can benefit your trading. I put a lot of effort into it. Have you dropped it into the Discord yet? Have you dropped it into the server? Definitely drop it into the server. Maybe stick it in announcements. SMFC, tag everyone and stick it in announcements, because obviously I won't have a stream tomorrow, so it'll stay in there then as the top announcement. So stick it in there. That'll be a good place for it to go. Yeah, big week of streaming this week. It's hard, draft. It's not easy. Streaming for nearly 2 hours a day every day is well, obviously not every day. Monday to Friday and then an hour on a Sunday, but it's tiring. But anything for you guys, and anything for Stonksy. But yeah, we've not got much movement, have we? We're not. We're pretty much just going sideways. But yeah, make sure that you are trading on BLOFIN. It is the first link in the description, and I'll put it into the chat now. Create your non-KYC account in under a minute. Under a minute, I challenge you. Under a minute, you can create a non-KYC account and start trading. And of course, we are still running the 20% off on the monthly plan. Click start now. And it is this plan that you want. Put code BOT20, so it's in the description, and up here, BOT20 in at checkout. And you do get 20% off your first month, down to £116, and you get access to everything. The indicator, oscillator, Discord server, and the trading bots. But if you notice, the oscillator plan has gone up now, so we will steadily be moving this up. It was up for £37 a month. It's now up to 44. So that will not last forever. But yeah, if anyone's got any last minute questions or anything, get them into the chat. If you've got any questions on Stonksy, or if you really got anything on your mind that you want to say before we all go for our weekend, let me know and I'll get to it. If not, it's coming to that time, but I'll give everyone a minute. If there's anyone with any burning question or comment that they want to make, get it into the chat. No? Okay, well, thank you very much for everyone that's joined the stream. I really appreciate you. You do really make the stream pleasurable. And I hope you've all had a great week. And I hope you've all got something great planned to do over the weekend. Really enjoy yourselves. And of course, we'll be back Sunday night for the end of week review. And then on for another big week of streaming. So bye for now. And I'll see anyone in the Discord who's in there. You should be in there because you should take advantage of the Stonksy offer. So bye-bye.